And listen to what McCain says to this failed comedian.
What exactly happened? See, here, I thought I was doing my part to save the economy, and then later I get to think, well, maybe I'm just not important enough.
Can I give you an answer?
Please.
I screwed up.
Well,
but look at all the conversation I gave you.
Yes.
Including
it really was
having
fun.
Mr. Oberman on.
Yeah. But, you know, John, you called me.
I've had enough of this nausea. I feel like I'm in a nightmare. McCain is a shame to himself and to his family name as far as I'm concerned. It's not that he appears on Letterman. He's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment to the word leader. He's an embarrassment to the word potential president. He's an embarrassment in so many ways. And I've had enough of this, him appearing at the Alfred E. Smith dinner. If you only knew who Alfred E. Smith was, that he would go there. Now, why would McCain go to the Alfred E. Smith dinner and then go to the failed comedian David Letterman, who reads jokes written for him by ugly guys with curly hair, and not go on Rush's show, not go on the Savage Nation? After all, doesn't he need the conservative base to get elected? Well, sure, that's why he's still down in the polls, because he's told you to drop dead. He's told you he'd rather have a Democrat vote for him than a conservative. He's told you you're ugly and you're dirty and you're a racist. He's told you that you don't qualify to be an American. John McCain has told you you're not qualified to vote. John McCain has told you you're not the kind of American he even wants to vote for him. John McCain, by ignoring you on conservative talk shows, has told you you don't even belong in this country. He's told you, in other words, you are powerless. And yet he thinks he's got your vote, huh? I disagree. And now on to the callers on the Savage Nation. San Francisco, KNEW. Jessica, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hello, Dr. Savage. I received your book yesterday, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah. And,
okay, you got the book. What do you think of my new book, Psychological Nudity?
I absolutely love it, more than I thought I would. You know, you say that there's stories in there about your life, and I was like, oh, stories about his life, that'll just be interesting background. But there's a point to every single story that I've come across so far, and I'm about halfway through, and I've gotten to your story about the time you spent on the Fiji Islands as a plant collector. And yes. I noticed in there that you speak of how the Fijian people are different than any other people on Earth. And I must absolutely agree with you. I'm dating a Fijian man, and he's just so different than anybody else. You know,
that's correct. That's right. Unless people have spent time in the South Pacific, as I have done, and really understand the cultural differentials between people, it's easy to stereotype people. I remember, I don't know if the story is in there, when I first arrived in the Fiji Islands as a young plant collector, 1969, we're talking about a long time ago. It was still a colony of Britain. I was taken to the Windina River by an older botanist to collect plants. And here I am, a white guy from New York, and I wind up on a river, and it's all black men wading across the river carrying large boxes. Now, with my background coming from New York, I'm the only white guy with this old man, with 25 to 50 black guys, big, brawny guys, and I said, oh, my God, is this safe or what? Well, little did I know that Fijians are different than any other people of color I have ever met, especially with regard to race. That was my point, Jessica. And I have reasons as to why the Fijians are probably the least racist people of color on the planet towards white people. And I described it in my book, I think. Would you agree with me?
Yes, absolutely. And the way you describe it, it's about, you say that the British, I believe, didn't treat them badly because they wanted to have an island to retire to, and they chose to...
That's right. That's what I had actually heard back in the 60s when I was there, which I said, well, how come the British, why are the Fijians not hateful of whites? I mean, you say black people, colony, oppressed, right? So one guy said to me, look, he said, the British were horrible SOBs all over the world. They oppressed people of color everywhere they were. They really, really oppressed them, stole their resources, enslaved them. But when it came to Fiji, they were nice to them. I said, well, why? They said they needed a place to go to retire. I don't know if it's true, but I thought I'd pass that story along in the book.
Absolutely, and I want to let you know that him and I are actually volunteers for Yes on Proposition 8 campaign. So,
well, tell the people what Proposition 8 is.
Proposition 8 will preserve traditional marriage. It is so that we, as people that believe that homosexuality is a sin, won't be discriminated against and be forced to believe that gay marriage is okay.
You know, on my website, michaelsavage.com, there's a major league story of a young Mexican-American, also a Catholic, well, let's say also a devout Christian, let's put it to you that way, and a family man who was beaten up for defending traditional marriage. It's on michaelsavage.com. An opponent of Proposition 8, obviously some gay Nazis, attacked and seriously injured this man who was volunteering for the initiative to define marriages between a man and a woman. Look out, because the gay movement is not benign. In most cases, its origins are in fascism. Make no mistake about it. Take the gloves off. Go into that voting booth while you still can and stand up to these Nazis, because that's who they are. That's my opinion. 1-800-449-8255, Norfolk, Virginia. Chuck, go ahead, please. You're on the Savage Nation.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
What's up?
Well, it's just, first of all, let me say thanks for taking my call. I have called into other radio talk shows, and they didn't think my question was good enough, and they didn't take my call. So I just want to say thanks for taking my call. First of all, I wanted to say I don't have your book yet. Plan on getting it, but I have to say a few weeks back when you were talking about it, I got the biggest laugh when you started telling the story about your dog. And when your dog died. And
they threw it in the garbage truck. But apparently you called tonight to talk about McCain at that Alfred E. Smith dinner. Is that correct, Chuck?
That is correct. And I also wanted to ask about that last night when I did, I was flipping through the channels and saw it, and it really turned my stomach, and I couldn't figure out exactly who Alfred E. Smith was, and just wondering if you could give us some background.
Yeah, he was a governor of New York, I believe in the 1930s. He was part of the worst corruption in the history of New York State. When the Tammany Hall machine was in full force, he was the governor of a corrupt Democrat machine. Now, why the Democrats would celebrate Alfred E. Smith is pretty obvious, because they have become, again, another variety of the most corrupt era of the Democrat machine. In other words, Schumer, Feinstein, Boxer, Dodd, Barney Frank, they're like Alfred E. Smith. They're part of a corrupt Democrat machine. Pelosi, Reid, corrupt Democrat machine. So they're celebrating their own corruption and their ascendancy to power. But why would McCain go there, is what you're really asking.
That's exactly right. I couldn't figure out what was he doing there, and he looked... It was known as butt kissing. You know what that is? John McCain is a compromised man. John McCain is an embarrassment to the Republican Party. John McCain is a fool for having gone there, but that's not the only thing that makes John McCain a fool. John McCain was a fool when he passed the McCain-Kennedy bill. John McCain was a fool when he passed the McCain-Feingold bill. John McCain was a fool when he almost became a Democrat. John McCain has fooled nobody on the conservative side for at least 20 years. And he's not fooling anybody right now, Chuck. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you exposing it for what it is. And
well, what am I supposed to do? Sit here and say, hail John McCain because he's all we got? I need better than that. Thanks for the call. I need better than that. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. I'll be right back. Savage.